Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a live stream. So this will pretty much be live immediately once I do end the live stream. Today we're actually going to be talking about this flash crash that is actually happening throughout the market. This is pretty much the last major dip that we are probably going to see, at least in my opinion, for a very long time. Now, this crash on Bitcoin will most likely lead us to about 56K. I'm definitely agreeing with Encrypt30 on that from the Discord. I don't know if you guys are in the Discord, but if you are, you would obviously see why we have to come down and retest that. We've been talking about a little bit of a retest on Bitcoin for a while now. We are finally seeing that. The market is bleeding. We are seeing XRP under $1, taking a huge hit at about 13.97%. And we also see other altcoins taking a bit of a hit as well. Stellar down fairly, 18%. So that's significant. And of course, Hbar down to around 35, almost, well, actually 32 cents now. So, huge dips throughout the market. It is what it is. This is a major buy opportunity, but this is also a major crashing, method that we've been talking about for a very long time. Now, why is this happening? Why is this bullish? Well, first off, within Bitcoin, we've been talking about a major retest of a major support level. If we actually look here on the micro time basis, so let's actually go to the 4-hour span. I know that my internet's been a little bit shaky since the storm yesterday, so do bear with me if my internet is trash right now. But overall, there is a lot of support levels that we could actually retest. So first off, there's a lot of support around this point down here at about 57.3K. Could that be our bottoming point? Sure. I think that that is a solid point to really kind of retest. We have broken significant points so far, so we're pretty much ranging for that lower low. Now we could also retest about 56K, but there's not a lot of support there. More so, I would be more concerned about 55.3K being, the main target here. Even on the daily span, when we're looking at some major support down here, 56K on the daily is support here. So, maybe that's where the 56K target comes from in terms of, that major retest, but it is probably also from the Fibonacci levels as well. Realistically speaking, this is not too bad of a pullback that we are seeing currently. From the topping point up here to the price target first off right now is about a 12%. Down here would be 14, and again at 56K would be around the 16.48% level. Why is this significant? Why is this very bullish for us? Well, first off, we are ranging into the weekly and monthly candle close this Sunday on the same day. So that is very bullish because obviously once we do repump from this point, we get that strong reversal, it is going to be very, very strong. The reason why alts are taking a huge hit right now is because Bitcoin dominance is also pumping up fairly, a lot right now within, Bitcoin dropping like this, which is obviously expected. Now, why is 16.48% or even somewhere around where we are now? Could we be bottoming out here? Yeah, sure, but am I expecting that to be our bottom? No, I'm still expecting somewhere around this range of roughly 14.5 to around, the 16.5% zone. It actually, in my opinion, is very healthy for us to have this strong pullback because even in the past, when we go up about 40-some%, we have to pull back about 19 or so percent. I've discussed this. I was actually calling for a pullback before we hit the all-time high, but we didn't get that. In fact, we pumped a little bit higher, which is fine with me. As long as we get the pullback and as long as we have that fiat on the side to actually buy the dip is, a very good idea for me to really kind of capitalize on. Now we are up about 68.78% on Bitcoin. So when we're talking about a dip here, yeah, it could be a little bit of a deeper dip. We can come down to 55.9K, or we can come down as low as retesting the bottom support down here from October 7th. Will I be expecting that? Not really, but still, I think around 56K should be a nice bottoming stage. Now this, like I said, volatile price action happens all the time, but this was expected considering the fact that we hit resistance at around 63K. I told you guys even back here when we hit 63K, we were expecting a pullback there. This is when I originally thought that we would see a pullback down to about 56 to even 50, somewhere around the 54 to 56K point. Again, when we're talking about the percentages there, This would be around 13 or 14% down to about, 52K would be around 17.24%. So again, a very significant healthy pullback, which will allow us to go higher. This pullback here will allow us to move higher on Bitcoin, which will obviously lead us to the parabolic topping point for Bitcoin as well, which I'm still expecting around, the December timeframe. Somewhere around that November-December timeframe is the gist of it. But in regards to this pullback, I know it's fairly deep, but again, we are retesting the major support levels on a lot of these altcoins. For an example, right now on this bottom wick candle on XRP, look at the support level that we hit from August 13th actually. So this is a fairly significant level that we retouched, which is roughly about 95 cents. I've actually discussed 95 cents in, I think, a video from last week, I believe. But I said that we could retest that level. It's a fairly strong level to retest. Again, Hbar, probably around the 33 cents level. So it's actually, around 32.7. So when we're looking here and we actually look at this support here, there's not much on the 1 day span. You actually really can't see it on the 1 day span. But if you look at the 4 hour and look at, the main levels here, look at the level that we retested perfectly on Hbar. And let me move this up a little bit just to touch the bottom of this candle. So there's a lot of support here in the October 12th time base, which again is a perfect retest of major support. Could we come down lower? 100%. Like I said, if Bitcoin comes down, an additional, let's see, where are we from the current price, right? So if we come down an additional roughly 5%, which is not even exactly, it's like around 4.89%, we could expect, again, from our current prices, around roughly a 10% drop on altcoins. So right now, from here, a 10% drop would bring us to roughly around 31 cents, almost 30 cents, which again was my main re-entry point. So I might be buying Hbar again. I said that I wouldn't, but hey, we always say that we are done buying, but we always buy anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So right now, Hbar can't win. I mean, like Hbar, every single time that we get a new GC member or we get nice price action, Bitcoin always drops, and it always seems like it's almost planned. But the main point that I'm watching here for on a lot of these altcoins is just a major retest of a support zone. We've seen it throughout this entire week. We've seen it throughout even last week. When we're looking at pullbacks on Bitcoin or we're looking at pullbacks on any altcoin, it's always to the major support levels. Everybody was so bullish. I've always said it, every single time that somebody gets extremely bullish in this market, we see the bullish sentiment pretty much flowing throughout Twitter. We see everybody saying, to the moon, to the moon, to the moon. Extreme greed is flowing. I'm always saying, beware, play the caution game, because every single time that we see a ton of gains being made, look at what ends up happening, right? So a pullback was always expected. We've always been looking for it, and honestly, I'm not surprised by this. So I was actually expecting this a little bit later, though. I was actually expecting us to have a very bullish weekly and monthly candle close and then get the pullback, but it's actually better to have it now than later, because now when we're talking about, this weekend coming, if we get this nice healthy pullback, say for so we bottom out at around 56K, okay, this weekly candle close, I expect us to be back to where we are, in terms of the all-time high, which is from the bottoming point to up here is around 18%. But I also expect us to go actually above and beyond this and probably test around 70K plus, which again is almost 25% plus. This is what I'm expecting this weekend, which, by the way, if you guys, like I said, weren't aware, weekly and monthly candle close on the same date. 8 months ago was the only time that this actually happened. This happened back on February 28th. So this is the first time that we are getting a weekly and monthly candle close on the same date in 8 months. So this is a significant week. This weekend is actually going to be fairly good to see. We're going to be chilling. We're going to be watching the charts. We're going to be watching a lot of our altcoins as well, because guess what's happening right now? We are ranging into the massive end goal for alt season. We are about to see alts break out of their, descending wedges, because I know a lot of people aren't excited with the Hbar price action. They're saying, we're not doing anything. We're just trading sideways and just in this massive consolidation. Where are the gains at? Where's the dollar plus targets? Those will happen. Listen, I've always discussed XRP on the Bitstamp chart. First off, I just want to quickly address, even if we go back to 2017 and 2018, so let's go back here. We've always had pullbacks along the lines, right? Even in October, we had a nice pullback, which this is exactly why I was expecting, a major pullback in October anyways. We're looking at XRP back here. So this was actually around October 16th, which I've said, around October 16th, I was expecting a pullback. We didn't get it. So obviously it's going to happen later than, we expected it. Now this was roughly around, to the bottoming point, a 40% correction on XRP. Now this ranged us on a little bit all the way to around the December timeframe. Now throughout this time, yeah, there were some gains made off this bottom candle, to the topping point here on double resistance being tapped was about 57%, which again led to a deeper correction of roughly around to the bottom of this candle. So we'll go off of the bottom wick. Again, another roughly almost 30%. All right. Now at this point, probably, there's people probably selling, excuse me. But if we actually look here from the bottom of that candle all the way to the topping point that we led to in terms of the all-time high. So let's actually zoom out a little bit. And if we go all the way to the topping here, it's roughly about 1,500%. Now, of course, on some exchanges, it was around $3.84, not $384. So roughly about 1,843% off of the, low end points that we made before December. So are we expecting the same pattern to play out? I mean, overall, things are looking fairly good. I mean, it looks like we are following the 4-year cycle. Looks like we are following these charts fairly closely. Now, XRP is one of those assets that is an OG laggard. I've always said a lot of those OG assets will not run until later, meaning Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, EOS. A lot of those OG assets, even Zcash, by the way, will run later than expected. And XRP is also one of those assets. Same with XLM. For anybody who's holding XLM or even XRP, expect those gains to be made later than expected. I know it probably sucks to hear because you're probably like, I want this thing to moon tomorrow. But just a little bit more patience, and trust me, you guys will love it. You guys will be so appreciative that you guys have waited a little bit longer. Now, right now, a lot of longs are probably getting liquidated in terms of Bitcoin, and I actually just seen the chat update, and I see somebody else actually just said what is happening right now is basically longs getting liquidated, I assume, which is funny to see. I actually haven't seen the longs chart, so let's actually go to, first off, let's check out the Bitcoin shorts. So let me go to Bitcoin shorts here. Let's check out what's happening here. So actually, this is at a very, very low point right now, which is funny to see. Honestly, I don't know if liquidations are happening right now, but I would assume that some people are getting liquidated. Probably a lot of stop losses getting hit as well. I would not be surprised by that. It's a similar situation going all the way back to May as well. But I think that the main base point right now is the fact that with Bitcoin dropping as low as it has right now, which isn't a significant dropping point, like it is from the topping point here, going all the way back to the 20th to the low end. It's not too crazy of a significant drop, but it is healthy enough to allow us to actually move much higher. Again, any sort of pullback that happens throughout the market, which is also very good for our altcoins to actually pull back as well, will allow us to go higher. Like I said, even going back here, this was a 40% pullback that led to a 57% pump, a 29% pullback that led to a 2,000 almost percent pump on XRP. And again, like I said, we were expecting an October drop on altcoins. We didn't get it. Even right now, if we look at the current price chart, and I know that this is, forever to go to, but, in October, we really didn't have too many dropping points. In fact, it was just kind of sideways momentum, which all led us to this drop here. Now, in terms of current percentage dropped on most altcoins, if we're actually going to the topping point here and going to the bottoming point that we're at currently, this is roughly about a 22% drop. Do I think that we can come down deeper? If anything, we will most likely retest about 85 cents, which would be roughly about a 31% dropping point on XRP. Now, am I expecting this 100%? No, but I do think that it is possible. I also think it's possible that we could see our bottom being in at 58K on Bitcoin. Am I dead set on it? No. Like I said, I think that 56K is a safe spot. I think that this is a strong demand zone as well. Like realistically speaking, when we're looking at the support zone going back to the 11th, the 12th, and even the 13th, this was strong support. This was also strong resistance at around the 57.3K point. So I'm watching this point very closely to see if it gets retested. If this point gets broken, by the way, we will most likely retest about that 54K point. That is a strong point as well. After that, we really have to be concerned about Bitcoin. So right now, we're just watching this healthy correction happen. I think that it's very healthy for the market. Why is it very bullish? Well, it does allow for Bitcoin to go much higher, which will most likely bring, Bitcoin dominance with it. Most likely will retest about possibly 45 perfectly or up to 47%. That will pretty much allow for Bitcoin to take the spotlight while alts kind of stay stable or bleed out a little bit more. But it is still fairly good for us in the long-term spans because that allows for Bitcoin to get to its topping point sooner than expected, and then that money will flow into Ethereum, and then from Ethereum flows into altcoins, and that's where we really get that alt season pumping, or starting off, I should say. Now, in regards to the altcoin market cap, so we actually have a perfect retest of the 786, which I think is great to see. Do I think that we need to come down lower on this? No. Am I expecting us to come down lower on this? I wouldn't want it to, but we could retest the 702, which is down at about $1.22 trillion, which is at the bottom red line down here. It would be a perfect retest of the 702, and I think that it would be healthy again for us to come, go higher and retest $1.5 trillion. So right now, we are still in this nice demand zone, so things still look fairly good for the altcoin market cap, but I am still expecting some downward pressure. Overall, though, if I wanted to tell you guys what to do during this time, I would be looking for some juicy buy opportunities. More so, you want to look into things that are down significantly, and when I say down significantly, don't get into just anything, but look for some assets that you've been wanting to get into. Like XLM is a perfect buy opportunity in my opinion, down at 33.5 cents. I mean, look at this deep dip that it took, and again, this follows XRP very closely, and I think XLM, if I was going to say if you want gains immediately, like right now, if you want to see it in the next month or so, get into something that is more so not an OG asset, but I think Stellar Lumens is going to perform very, very well this year. And again, when we're talking about XRP doing, incredible gains this year, it's going to follow XRP very closely. Also, Hbar, we got that juicy buy down at 32 cents, almost 33 cents. Do I think that we come down lower? We could see lower, and that's nobody knows exactly when we're going to come down to 30 cents. I will say this though. Okay, the support line that we targeted now is not major support. On the micro time based levels, yeah, there is support there, but I'm more so eyeing this level down here at around the 30 centile range. That's what I personally want to see retested if we do go down lower on Bitcoin. Again, a lot of things will play out perfectly once we do see some validation on a major support line being targeted down here. That's where my demand zones are. So right now, this is what I'm waiting to see either get invalidated by us breaking above $63,000. So we really need to watch for this level up here being targeted or this level down here being targeted for either an invalidation of alts coming down lower or a validation of alts coming down lower. So that's basically what we need to watch for on that. But I would be, looking to DCA in because, this could be the last 100% dip that we see before all season really takes off. Now, I will say this on Bitcoin, the only other month, or I should say the only other time period that we do see a dip on Bitcoin is around the November timeframe. So we obviously know about the October timeframe. In October, we didn't really see that deep dip until around, again, when we're looking here, the 16th to the 18th point. And when we're talking about this dip on Bitcoin, this was roughly only a 13% dip. So realistically, from this point on, we could only see, maybe a 13%. But we also see here that a dip started on the 21st all the way down to about the 25th, which is only 2 days, ago in terms of the current date. So when we're talking about this dip on Bitcoin, this was roughly, again, about a 13%, which led to us going higher, and then we had that deeper correction in November. So could we be seeing a November dip as well? Yeah, it's possible, especially if we are going to follow this pattern pretty much to the T, which so far we have been following almost every single price action that we've seen on Bitcoin. We have followed through on it. So in terms of our current positioning on Bitcoin, we have seen some dips throughout this time period, but we haven't seen 13% or anything crazy like that until just now, because even our last dip, which I was calling for a lot deeper, was only roughly about 9%, and then up here is where we've seen the deeper corrections, which was from here down was about roughly a 13. Look at that, 1332. Okay, I just want to show you guys real quick. This is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of Bitcoin following through on these levels perfectly. 13.32. We go back to 2017, okay, and we zoom in here real quick. So 1 second. I know that these are fairly close together, but we do see here 13.33 was the first dip. So could we be expecting an additional 13% as we do move further on? Of course, Bitcoin will pump up a little bit. It won't be a 13% from our current levels. And then are we expecting that dip in November? I mean, realistically speaking, if we are following these patterns perfectly, I would be expecting that. And so far, the charts haven't lied. The price action hasn't lied. Everything seems to be following that thoroughly to the T on patterns going on in this market. So overall, I think that on the macro levels, which is the long-term levels, we are going to be seeing something like this, where we get to the topping point on Bitcoin. On the micro time based levels, we are seeing better buy-in opportunities. For anybody who wants to buy in, hey, you are seeing it. You are seeing those buy opportunities be targeted for you, and now you are getting the chance to get into these juicy opportunities at these near almost perfect levels. So, if you want, eye up your tokens that you want to buy right now. In my opinion, I think all the OG assets are a great choice. I think that they are going to all run in December. XRP, XLM are solid choices. Hbar is a solid choice. There's a lot of assets in this space that you guys could get into if you are looking at them. And again, look at the 24-hour periods. Don't buy into something that's up 76%. But, look at the, short-term view, like, EOS, right? I've discussed to you guys about EOS in the past. This is one of those assets that loves to run last. And when we're looking at the 1-year time-based levels, we hit about $15 almost this year already. Look at our levels that we are at. We are at levels going all the way back to March to even February. And it's funny that we're still at these levels, because even on the all-time chart, we hit about $22. Now, this one likes to run extremely last. First off, we've seen the extreme price action in, December of 2017, 2018, all the way into, obviously January. But our topping point didn't actually happen until around the April time-based levels in 2018, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. But again, these are these OG assets that love to run last and that, will make incredible gains. So take that with what you will. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video here to really kind of give you guys those insights. Welcome to the live stream for anybody who is in here. I see you all in here. Just to throw out a few names, I see you Tandem, I see you DJ Stonk, Jedi Ninja, Lee, I see you as well. Alvin, welcome everybody to this stream. I do greatly appreciate you all stopping by. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. If you guys do want my personal exit strategies and all that kind of stuff, you guys could check out NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.